Hey there, and happy Groundhog Day to all who celebrate. And if you don't like winter, you're probably pretty happy with what the rodent had to say this year. And we have had a really warm winter in Minnesota this year. So the question is whether that is going to push us into the spring housing market a little sooner than normal or not. So let's take a look at what's happening. I'm going to give you housing prices and how they've changed, but I also really want to talk about some of what I think of as the immediate indicators of the market in the form of showing activity and where we're actually seeing the most of it happening. So this is no lag. This is within the last week or so, not historical data over the last month. All right, so also I'm going to give you the latest on what kinds of offers are being accepted in the Twin Cities right now. And if you're buying a home, I would love it if you checked out my buyer's guide. It's free. There is a link in the description box down below this video. And if you're just visiting the Twin Cities for the first time, I know a lot of people who are coming from out of state. I'm also going to link a list of my favorite places to visit that aren't in the tourist guide. So you can check that out too. All right, we typically think of the spring market as starting right after the Super Bowl, and I'm thinking that possibly this is when the sellers are thinking that that's when the spring market starts, but buyers already are in the mix. They're out there and they're ready to buy. If you're thinking of selling and you want less competition and more buyers, now would be a great time to get ahead of the game. We saw something like a 30% increase in showings for homes in the 600,000 and above range like a week ago. So when you look at buyer activity, also known as showings, you'll see that the most activity is between $200,000 and $300,000, and then the next highest bump in that activity is between $300,000 and $400,000. The current median single-family home price in the Twin Cities is $410,000, and that's for the 7-county metro area. That's for single-family homes, and it's been holding at that point since November. Showings in this range are about half as much as those that you see in the $300,000 to $400,000 range. But I also want to mention that condos with a median price of $205,000 are also being included in that showing activity data. Could be skewing things. It's not necessarily all about single family homes. All right, I often talk about month's supply of inventory in these videos, and what I mean by that is how many homes are available to purchase at a particular price point based on how fast they are selling, or to put this another way, how long would it take us to run out of homes at that rate if we didn't get any more added? The rule of thumb is that if it's less than 5 months worth of homes, we are in a seller's market. 5 to 6 months worth of homes is balanced, and 6 or more months of homes is a buyer's market. Well, no shocker here. We are still firmly in a seller's market with an overall month supply between 1.2 months, that's in Ramsey County or St. Paul, up to a high of 2 months supply in Carver County, which is a little more rural and out on the southwest side of the metro. So Carver County is the sweet spot if you're a buyer and you don't mind a bit of a drive, but it's just going to be slightly less competitive. In general, the month's supply of inventory does increase with price, so the very high-end homes are at 2.9 months, which is still under 5 months, and they have been at that point since October. If you're shopping for a more moderately priced home, month supply has been around 1.7 for homes in the $400,000 to $500,000 range. And if you're shopping for a home under the median price, between $300,000 and $400,000, you are in the hottest, most in-demand price point. Just remember that graph that I showed you of the showings, and the supply of homes in this price point is at 1 month, which means that they have an accepted contract on their homes within about 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how long the inspection period is. So what we really aren't seeing right now is an increase in inventory, and that's really not awesome. But hopefully people will be putting their homes up for sale soon when they realize it's spring, even though it's February. We don't have a lot of active inventory overall, and I feel like I sing the same tune every single month, but we are starting to see an uptick in what we call the coming soon category, which is when the MLS shows the home as about to be available for viewing, but you just can't see it quite yet. You'll be able to see it within the next week or two, but you can make an appointment right when you see it pop up. So it is a great indicator of potential inventory coming. However, not every seller uses this status. Some actually just pop up as directly going to active. Another fun number that's going to show you the difference between selling or buying a month ago and today is that the average price a month ago on properties that were in pended status, meaning somebody had offered on them, was $413,000. And today, the average price on a pended property is $452,000, so like $40,000 difference. I think the moral of the story is that sometimes it actually pays to buy in winter. Okay, so let's just talk a little bit about what I'm hearing in the office, and this is just anecdotal. People are talking about multiple offers again. Someone said that they submitted an offer on a property and it had 29 offers, and another buyer submitted an offer on a property and it had 7 offers. I didn't hear the price points on these, but I'm going to assume a couple of things. One is that they had priced these homes competitively, and it's often best to price just a click below market value, and that generates a lot of interest. It looks like a great value, but what it potentially does is create competing offers and then potentially netting you more money in the end. All right, the second thing I'm going to assume is that they are in one of the more heated price points in general. And I'll give you my own recent story, which is that my client offered on a home at the higher end of the price points and had their offer accepted at 99% of asking. So I know it's only 1%, but that is a bit of a sweetener, especially at that price point. But right after the seller accepted our offer, they received another offer at list price, and they wanted to get a counter offer from the seller and try to bump us out of the mix. So this home had been on and off the market for a while, and this renewed interest right now shows something about the market timing. Sellers are generally getting about 100% of asking price right now. Most people are using conventional loans. Cash still makes up a big chunk of purchases at 20%, and VA and FH loans are back in the mix. So first-time buyers or vets, with zero down potentially, are still getting their offers accepted right now, which is great news. Sellers are contributing to closing costs about 38% of the time right now. This doesn't mean that they're paying the whole shebang, but it does mean that they are giving the buyer some credit for repairs on the property that they found during an inspection. And glory be, we are getting normal inspections and normal inspection times for most transactions right now. I do love to talk to people that meet me on YouTube, so if you have questions, please reach out. I would love to chat with you. My contact information is down below, and I'm always happy to help.